friends. My name is Sharon Rogers and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine, and I usually try to come to you live every Friday night for Friday Night Live. However, I cannot be live tonight, so I have pre-recorded something for you. I hope you enjoy it. Yesterday on social media, I asked whether I should be using Bottled Happiness or Good Feelings tonight. And the overwhelming response was for Bottled Happiness. I do like this set though as well. But I know that word sets aren't quite as popular by themselves. And then I asked, which color should I use? Sweet Sorbet or Orchid Oasis? And this one was split. I have created a card using Orchid Oasis, but I'm going to do the Sweet Sorbet now. And I'm pairing that with Parakeet Party and another color that you have not yet seen me use. So I'm going to start with this piece of basic white paper, and I think this measures 3 by 4 inches, but I may have to trim this down. The Bottled Happiness set is a 2-step Stampin' set. So these two combine together to make one image. Same thing here. You've got this little shadow that you can stamp in a different color to add some depth to that bottle. And of course the label can go on as well, depending on what color your bottle is. But so this is a 2-step Stampin' set a little bit. It's not a It's pretty limited in its 2-stepness, but it is 2-step nonetheless. So when I was mounting my stamps, I knew it would be a little bit difficult lining these up correctly. So what I did was I took a Sharpie, I oriented my photopolymer set or stamp the way that it shows on this picture. Now the picture is not quite at 100%, so the picture's a little bit smaller, but this is the orientation. So I called this the bottom, and I marked the bottom with Sharpie here. So that's the bottom. And I did the same thing on this one. And you can see my Sharpie marks here. So that's just going to help me kind of, so I don't have to twist my stamps around all the time. We're going to start with a Sweet Sorbet, and we'll start with the blooms themselves. All right. I've got my Sharpies along the bottom. Okay, there we have a beautiful Sweet Sorbet arrangement of blooms. Now I'm going to take Parakeet Party. Both Sweet Sorbet and Parakeet Party are 2022-2024 in colors. So they have another whole year left. And I'm going to put the centers of my flowers and leaves on, and these big leaves go in these empty spaces. And these little pieces right here are the centers of the flowers. Something like that. I'm trying to work around my camera. Oh, that's pretty good. Nice and bright and cheerful. I didn't want to use one of those two colors for the vase. I wanted something else to stand out. So I am bringing in Pebbled Path. And Pebbled Path is one of the 2023-2025 in colors. It falls in what people call the grayish category. That is, it goes with grays and it goes with beiges. It's kind of like the, it's much darker then, but it's kind of like the agreeable gray that everybody has, including me, on the walls of their home. Just goes with so many different colors. So I'm going to take the squatty bottle here and put that right there. And that looks really, really pretty. All right, and there's a little bit more space at the bottom, which I figured there would be. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. I'm just going to trim that down a little bit to 3 3/4. I could have started with that, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. So this is 3 by 3 3/4. Now I'm going to bring in some cardstock and some Designer Series paper. So the Designer Series paper, this is the 2022-2024 Designer Series in color stock. And what I noticed was that it had a design on it that mimicked these flowers. I mean, they're not exact, but you can see the resemblance, right? So we're going to use one of those and we're going to cut it down to cardstock size. And that just means then we have to decide what is our base going to be. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the pebbled path. We'll cut that at base size. So 8.5 by 5.5 scored and then folded in half here. Now, do I want this on the red or do I want this on the Parakeet Party? I definitely want this on the Sweet Sorbet. I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. Trying to do a quick card tonight, so you know, I'm not bringing in any dies or anything of that sort. We're just keeping things pretty simple. And I'm gonna go ahead and add some glue. I just stocked up on a lot of that green glue. I bought a bunch before the free shipping that was on Wednesday, and then I bought a bunch more on Wednesday because, hey, I'm saving $1.50 from what the price is going to be per bottle in the next catalog. So there we have that. Now we have to decide, what am I going to layer this on another piece of cardstock? Let's see, what do we have here? I have another piece. I could do this. Do I want, now I don't have a piece of Parakeet Party. I kind of like that. Would I like it like this? Kind of like the pop of the green. Let's go ahead and cut this a little bit larger. Well, not a little bit larger. We're going to just turn it on its side a little bit, I think. So let's go with 3 by 3 3/4, which is the size of the card. And so we've just got print on top of print, but it's not competing prints. It's just a little bit of peekaboo. Yeah. I like that. So let's go ahead and adhere those together. And I'm offsetting them just a little bit, just giving a little peekaboo here. And then I'm going to add a little bit more. Now I could pop this up on dimensionals too if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. And so when I put this on, I am lining, I don't have to, but I'm lining my white piece up so that it is square, more or less, with the card base itself. All right, so there I have that. Let's add a little bit of embellishment. So there is some In Color Baker's twine from this set of In Colors. Here's the Sweet Sorbet. Let's see. Yeah, I do like the red against that gray, so we're going to use that. I'm going to double it up. Just tie a little bow in here. Adjust my ends a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to trim these ends. All right, so I have something that looks like that. Great. And we need a glue dot to stick those on. Now here's another helpful hint for you. First of all, I put a piece of linen thread around here. I tie it. It's getting loose now because I've used my glue dots, but that just keeps this roll from unwinding or just getting unruly. And I can now see I have this little dot. I'm going to put my twine knot right to it and pick it up that way. I'm not going to touch it with my fingers because that's going to decrease the stickiness of that dot, and I want it to hold pretty well. So there we have that. Now, one thing I like is that there's always stuff to coordinate with the in colors. So we had the designer series paper and the ink and the cardstock and the twine. We also had these dots. So I'm going to bring in these dots. These are retiring, as is the designer series paper. The twine's carrying over though. And I'm going to take some of these darker ones, I think. And where are we going to put them? Put this one over here. I'm going to take a little one. And yes, I should be using my Take Your Pick tool. I say this all the time. But again, it's not unpacked from a recent event that I had. So this is what we have to come up with. I think this one needs to move down to balance it out a little bit. Let's try that. And then I think this one needs a little bit more space so that it can be seen. So there we have the front of our card. Now what to do for the inside? So I've already cut a layer that's 4 by 5 1/4. I have not re-inked these stamps. I have not cleaned them. So there is a little bit of ink residue on here. And if I huff on them, so if I breathe moist air onto it, I should reactivate what little ink that is left there. So we're going to do this. And see, you get a little bit there. I'm going to do the same thing for the second layer. Got to stand up. It is a little harder to see because my ink is so faded. Okay, I can see just a little bit of green sticking out there. And if I put my bottle on here, we have just a little bit of a bottle there. And now I'm going to bring in the sentiment. Let's see. Let's bring in Overflowing with Happiness. And let's go ahead and bring in the Pebbled Path ink to stamp over the top. And because this is full strength, it will show up a lot more. And so that's going to do it for the inside of my card. In case you're wondering why this Sweet Sorbet layer is here, is I wasn't quite sure whether I wanted to mount this on a Sweet Sorbet card base or not, but I decided to make it tie in all these 3 colors. And so there is our card. quick and simple. Now I told you I had done the other one and I did it slightly differently. So here is the other color combination. And you can see my leaves actually turned out a little bit yellower here. I think I had not cleaned my stamp as well as I'd hoped I'd cleaned it the time before. But I can, you can see that I used the pebbled path here instead, and I used the colored base. So it's just a bunch of you know, different combinations, but very similar look. So hope I pleased you all that chose, you know, the colors. But most of you, as at the time of this filming, you had chosen the Bottled Happiness. So I know I pleased y'all there. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I hope you have found something useful in this video, whether it is a color combination, a layout, or a tip. And if you have not found a demonstrator yet for Stampin' Up! Products, I hope that you would consider me for that position in your life. And all you have to do to receive my newsletters that will point you towards events and specials and other things that I have going on, all you have to do is click the link that is down below this video in the description. I hope you will join me on this coming Tuesday for my Tune In Tuesday class, where every second and fourth Tuesday, I bring you a special class. We will make 4 projects, and if you would like to receive the class kit, I will send that to you for free with your minimum order of $35 or more. So check out this coming Tuesday's class. It is going to feature the Sweet Citrus Bundle. Have a great weekend.